Welcome to the Cornwall Chamber Meets Business Partners podcast. My name is Aaron Buckley. I'm the BDM for Cornwall Chamber of Commerce. And today we've got with us John Catchpole, who's a partner at Foot Anstey. And thank you for coming along and thank you for being business partners. So really,
thanks for having me.
Yeah. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So how I always start this is, who are Foot Anstey? Mm-hmm. What is Foot Anstey? So, people out there, there's a lot of people who do know who Foot Anstey are, but there's going to be a lot who don't. So give us a brief overview of Foot Anstey.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, Foot Anstey, we're a law firm. So we've got proud roots in the southwest. So we've got the office in Truro, but we've actually got a network of offices across the south of the country because we've grown quite a bit over the last few years. And so we're a commercial law firm. So any business or commercial requirements we can cover. But the way we work in particular is to have a focus on particular sectors. Yep. And that works really well both for us and for clients. So we'll focus on sectors such as energy, infrastructure, private equity, Islamic finance, developers, private wealth, and that's great. Space as well. Yeah. So space is a growing sector for us, which I'm particularly interested in, as you know. But I mean, the way the sectors work is great because we end up having. So the traditional model would be to have lawyers who specialise in property or employment or commercial contracts. Yeah. But by having a focus on sectors, we have lawyers who are energy lawyers or Islamic finance lawyers. So rather than being rather than businesses coming to us and us saying, well, here's how we advise you, we can be much more flexible. And businesses will say, well, look, we're a business in the energy sector. And we say, right, well, we understand the sector. We understand the challenges facing the sector. We've done a lot of this. And we can help guide you, not just providing the legal advice, but providing much broader sort of business advice around it as well, and understanding the context in which the businesses are operating. Right. So that's it's going really well. And so we're growing quite quickly. Yeah.
How many firms you got now?
Well, the office network is I have to try and remember all of these: Truro, Plymouth, Exeter, Taunton, Bristol, Southampton, Oxford, and London. So a nice sort of spread across the south of the country, which is really good. I mean, I've been with the firm for 10 years now, and we've grown
that long.
It'll be 10 years in April. And the firm's grown a huge amount and just changed and evolved a huge amount in the time that I've been there. And it's great. We love it. And I mean, really proud of what we're doing in Cornwall as well. So we've been in Cornwall for so long, and it's great because there are so many exciting things going on in Cornwall.
Oh, there certainly is.
Which you know all about. It feels like a really, really exciting time for Cornwall. It feels like we're sort of it's sort of changing. Sort of their focuses are changing slightly. So we've got some incredible things coming through, like space, floating offshore wind, geothermal, lithium extraction. I mean, these are things that even when I joined the firm 10 years ago, these things have sort of been talked about, but no one thought it was going to happen. And now here we are in a relatively short space of time, and these things are actually happening. And we're involved with them as well, which is great.
And we've had G7 here as well. I mean, the amount of things which are putting us on the global map here in Cornwall, it's really exciting to be part of the Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, but to be part of Cornwall. And as you know, I'm not from Cornwall. I've been here 40 years this year now, and I actually live and breathe Cornwall now. This is my home, and I love Cornwall. And so going back to the business partnership, why this collaboration? Because you really work really well with the Chamber of Commerce. We have Cornwall Conversations, for example. But why do you think this collaboration works really, really well?
We've been business partners with the Chambers. I think it's since the sort of the business partner arrangement was set up years and years ago, and it works perfectly for us because the Chamber, you and Kim and the rest of the team are really good at sort of tailoring what you do and what you can do for different businesses and different business partners. So it's not a one size fits all. It's very much you understand us, you understand what we're about, what we're trying to achieve, and then you say, well, to help you for Foot Anstey, we can do this and this. So, Cornwall Conversations is a great example because that works perfectly for us. We host it in our office. We work with you to agree a theme for the speakers, so 3 or 4 speakers.
The last one was the energy, wasn't it? In December.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean that was so good because
it was really interesting.
It was a really hot topic, and also. Because it's relatively small in terms of, we have maybe sort of 30 or 40 people there. It's much more interactive than just a big presentation. So there were people in the room all chipping in and asking questions as the speakers were talking about the energy crisis and what businesses can be doing. And the buzz in the room. And what was really good about that one is that as soon as the event finished, no one left. Everyone just carried on sort of because people said, right, I need to talk to you about this. I need to talk to you about this. And there's lots of follow up, and we followed up with businesses who were there. And that sort of thing works really well. Yeah. And so I mean that's something that's sort of bespoke between the chamber and Foot Anstey. Yeah. And that works well for us. And that we're, as I mentioned before, focused on particular sectors like energy and infrastructure. So if you're and real estate, and if you're involved in a particular project that involves those sectors, then you get us involved, which is perfect for us.
It is, and it works really well, and we love working with Foot Anstey and yourself, John, as well, and obviously James before that as well. And I know you've been very active, with the chamber since then. So what's the future look like, not only for Foot Anstey now, so your 5-year plan, for example, and what's that future look like for John Catchpole as well here in Cornwall?
Yeah, well, our firm is going through, we have strategic periods, and we're at the moment sort of analysing what we're going to do for our next strategic period, which is the next 4 years. Yeah. And what's worked really well for us, say for the last strategic period, the last few years, is what I mentioned about the sectors. So we're continuing that. So it's sort of, just continuing with the sectors, but scaling it up and looking at opportunities to get involved with other sectors as well. Yeah. Because the firm's really entrepreneurial. If they see an opportunity in the market.
Like you do with space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, with space, so I've always been a bit of a space geek, but just, kept that quiet, kept that under wraps. But then I was at an event at Goonhilly in 2017, and Piran and Ian Jones were there talking about Goonhilly and deep space communications, and the little space geek.
It's exciting, isn't it?
This is so cool.
We're all little kids again, aren't we? We become little kids again, don't we?
Yeah. And then so I thought, well, this looks really interesting. I'm going to just investigate a bit more. So I sort of did a bit of research into the industry and the sector and how it's growing, and I thought, there's something in this. Yeah. And so I was, this was going back a few years. So I went to a partner that I was working with, who was one of my supervisors, and I said, look, I've got this idea. It's about space. And I kind of thought... And
he looked out into space and thought...
That's it. That was a real sort of make or break moment. So I kind of thought, if he laughs at me and tells me to get out, then that's it. I'll never talk about it again. But he didn't. He was saying, well, look, I think you're onto something there. And he gave me a steer and said, well, look, John, you need to research the market, think about how Foot Anstey can support the market, support the industry. Yeah. So he gave me a few tips and a few ideas of research to do. So I went away and did that. And then it just started growing and getting other people involved, because space is exciting. It's different. And
it's here in Cornwall.
And it's here in Cornwall. And it's a fantastic opportunity for Cornwall. It really is. And there's such a buzz. You were up at the launch in January, weren't you? Yeah. And I know it was a bit disappointing in the end, but the number of positives you can take away from that. I mean, they got the rocket into space, from UK soil, so that was a first. Yeah. Spaceport Cornwall did its thing absolutely perfectly.
Melissa and the team did a great job.
Oh, fantastic, incredible, and that was really inspiring. And I was up there with my children, and it was a bit of an exercise in keeping them, because it was at night, as you know, a bit of exercise keeping them warm and entertained. But they loved it, and the buzz up there that evening. It was a cold January night, but it was so exciting.
It was the inaugural launch, and your children to be there at the inaugural launch, in 10, 15, 20 years' time, they can say, I was there. Yeah. So it's absolutely amazing.
That was it. They went into school the next day, a bit tired, but really excited to sort of tell all their friends about it. But that's it. And there's 2,000 people up there, great atmosphere. And all those 2,000 people will be telling everyone they know, like we are now, about how great it was. And there's so many businesses looking to get involved, and it's really inspirational. So it's a fantastic opportunity for Cornwall for businesses to get involved. Businesses who may not think of themselves as space businesses, but they have a product or a service that they can sell into the space industry. So a huge opportunity, and if we can tie that in with momentum around things, great projects like floating offshore wind, geothermal, some of the green energy projects that are going on, lithium extraction. That suddenly you've got multiple sectors all working together, because there is overlap between the sectors.
Of course there is.
And you've got a rapidly growing industry there, and that's something I think the rest of the country would be looking at us and thinking, Cornwall's Cornwall's really making a good go of this.
And I'm very enthusiastic about us being leaders rather than followers as well. Making those first steps. Like Neil Armstrong did on the moon, sort of thing. So, be great for us as to carry on with this relationship. I think it's been fantastic. I've been with the Chamber 4 years now, and I've worked very closely with John and James. Prior to that. And I think we've got a really good working relationship between Foot Anstey and Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, and I hope that continues. What I'd like to do, from myself, Kim, and the team, is thank you for your support.
Yeah,
because without organisations like you supporting us, we wouldn't be here. So really, thank you so much for that, and thank you, team, as well. And it's amazing. So thank you for coming in here today. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Darren. Cheers.
No problem.
All right.